This is Stephen Kettner, and I have been engaging him for a while in a discussion about money, where I take the position that money is evil, and he is taking the position that it's good, or at least that it's not evil. And here is something that's been going on his wall that I'm going to share with you. And it is a conversation with him and a couple of the people. He starts out by saying humanity, in order to survive, must live by virtue of reason. Those who refuse and instead live their life by arbitrary whim will only survive so long as they can leech off the production of those who use reason. In either case, reason is the source of man's ability to live on earth. Those who deny it are humanity's destroyers. Well, he's worshiping reason, but I think internally what's going on is he's joining the military, and he's doing it for money. He's a very smart man, young man, and he's got a lot of prospects, but none of them are in the military. The reason he's in the military is to get money, so that he can live up to other people's expectations that he should have money. That's my take on it, and that's a sad result. That's a poor result when people are forced into the military, and he's certainly not the only one, because they need money. Think about that. Now, I'd like to also show you a little something from Gerald Salente's blog. This is from his blog yesterday. America has a permanent war agenda. NATO is boosting its military potential near the border with Russia, despite objections from Moscow. The U.S. has struck a deal to station fighter jets in Poland, which will also house American interceptor missiles. America's promises are, I think he means to say, aren't worth the paper they're written on. America does not negotiate its demands. America invents fear and threats to pursue its imperial policy. It's war for money policy when you get down to it. Because in order for America to dominate, in order for America's money to be worth anything, we have to dominate the world militarily. That's the basis of money. It's violent force to comply with the will of money. America has a permanent war agenda. Of course it does. It has to, because it's totally hooked on one way of doing things, the money way. America invents fear and threats to pursue its imperial policy. America has a permanent war agenda. America is always provoking everyone, starting wars, and blaming the opposition through lies. This is getting more and more ridiculous every year. Amen to that. Obama got elected by promising to bring the troops home. Obviously, he lied. He is nothing but a Bush redux. He even out-Bushed Bush, says Gerald Salente, a puppet pushing war and murdering people. Puppet pushing war and murdering people. Time to get rid of these murders. We do not want war. Now back to this conversation. I think the first thing that I want to point out is that he is setting up a false choice. He is saying either you live by reason or you live by arbitrary whim. Well, there is another choice. Well, there's more than one other choice. You can live by a number of different standards and methods of deciding what to do. You don't need arbitrary whim. You can use consensus. You can say, well, I'm going to find out what everybody agrees on. Or you can use ancient wisdom and say, what does the ancient wisdom say? Or you can say, I'm going to apply virtue. You say, what are the virtues? And if you look at virtues, you'll see what they are. I always like bringing the virtues into the picture. Of course, I got trust today. That's my random virtue. Lightheartedness, I put that there because I think we're taking ourselves far too seriously. I think we basically fight for our misperceived notions of the universe. And that may be what's going on over here in this discussion that Stephen and I are in. It may be a misperceived understanding of what this game is all about. What's life about, basically? Why are we here? Well, he says we're here for reason. He wants us to live by reason. I want us to live by virtue. Now, you can use reason to justify virtue, but I don't think virtue takes you to reason. I don't see how. Because we have reason telling us all kinds of things, like we have to dominate the world in order to keep our money system alive. but we haven't gotten it to get rid of the money system. That's what needs to happen, people. You need to get rid of it as a mandated system. Now, maybe if you want to play in that realm, we can allow you to play. But as long as there's a gun behind it saying you will obey the rule of money, it's not a good system. As long as a gun is behind any system, it's not a good system. As long as you coerce people into doing something, it's not a good system. And I think Stephen understands that. Stephen Kettner. I think we had a previous discussion where he agreed that coercion is not a good thing. And yet we are being coerced into the money system to play the game. That's why he's going into the military, so that he can get money, because everybody says he needs money. We do it to each other every time we say to somebody, you gotta have money, go get some money. It's an insane thing we do to each other. And we need to stop doing it. We need to make up our minds, we're gonna stop playing this game. It's a bad game. Come on, people. Get up on you. Get up out of your slumber. Get up out of your spell. Wake up and say, I have a free will, and I want to use my free will to get out of the spell and to free other people from the spell. Feel the passion in my voice. I'm tired of this game. This is an evil game. Feel the evil of it. We're killing people for the sake of money, to maintain the American dollar hegemony, so that the dollar is the reserve currency of the world and nobody will challenge it. We use our military to enforce that wickedly. Look at what's going on in Libya right now, in Iraq, in Afghanistan. These are virtues: assertiveness, faithfulness, kindness, respect, caring, flexibility, love, responsibility, cleanliness, forgiveness, reverence. You don't have to surrender to arbitrary whim, Stephen. You can surrender to virtue. You can say, I'm going to dedicate my life to be a life of virtue. And you're not going to have to say, oh, I have to go play games now. I have to surrender my virtue so I can get some money. That's what you're doing when you join the military. And I implore you, don't do it. Stop. If there's any way you can get out of it, get out of it. It's an evil thing. You're supporting an evil empire, the empire of money. And of course this is to Steve, because I care about him, and I'm attracted to him, and I like him, and I want him to have a good life. There's no good life in the military. No, I don't think so. Not when you're supporting an evil empire. And the United States of America is an evil empire right now. We are doing the evil. We are bombing civilians in Pakistan. We are killing people and raising revolution around the world. For what purpose? So that our corporations can get profits? So that we can monopolize resources and dominate the earth? Pax Americana? I mean, it's not good. It's Rome version 2. It's not a good thing. These things are good things. Patience, tolerance, detachment, humility, peacefulness, trust, honor. Honor the truth by speaking it. When I say money is evil, I'm speaking the truth. I'm telling you the truth. It is evil. I see it for what it is, and I want you to see it for what it is. Get in touch with your heart. And when you think in terms of money, get in touch with how you feel about that. Do you think that's a good way to live? Is it a good feeling you're getting when you think in terms of money? Or is it one of control and domination and selfishness and greed? Yeah, get in touch with your feelings. Determination is, I'm determined to free humanity from the tyranny of money. Tyranny is when you have no other choice. And if you feel you have no other choice but to play the money game, you are living under a tyranny, the tyranny of money. It's the idea that that's why you're here, to play money games. That's not why you're here. You get to have a higher purpose than money. You get to have a higher thing that you're doing. A more important purpose, a more virtuous purpose. My purpose is to set the truth free. That's why I do videos like this. So let me get back to it. Well, he says those who deny reason are humanity's destroyers. I see the people who are destroying humanity and the earth using reason to do it. Oh, we need nuclear power now. Why? Because look at all the people and all the things that they want and so forth. But why do they want it? Because money says you've got to constantly increase the amount of stuff you produce so you can give a portion of your wealth to the wealthy. All the time give a portion of your wealth to the wealthy. They don't earn it. Don't fool yourself into thinking they earn that. Goldman Sachs doesn't earn anything. They steal everything they get. And they have very wealthy clients. So here we go. I want to get down into the discussion. And he says here, a person who does not produce what is necessary for his own life, but instead relies on others to do it for him, is a leech. Well, that's true. And look at all the leeches on Wall Street, the people who have money invested and who get a dividend or who get some kind of payment because they have money. They're leeches. Call them what they are. They're capitalist leeches. They don't work for a living. They manipulate the system so that they get profit in dollars without having to do anything. That's what Goldman Sachs does every day of the year. But he's not talking about that. He's talking about people who don't go in the military to get money. If you're in the military, you're working because you get paid for it. That's his thinking, I think. And so he's going to go get money. He's going to go produce something. What's he going to produce? Death and destruction? You know, come on. Get real. The military doesn't produce much. What about the people who discovered the apple orchard by accident, I said? Can they survive if just because of their dumb luck? Well, here's somebody who replied to me. Luck is an integral part of life itself. The luck of those born hatched, da 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 da. But he doesn't make a lot of sense. Since reason is always known based on known facts, and you never know all the truth, you are always making conclusions based on incomplete knowledge set. Therefore, with reason, you are always uncertain about your conclusions. There is no virtue in reason. Reason is based on a belief in your own ignorance. And actually, it's based on vanity. It's saying, I can figure this out using reason. Well, maybe there's more to the picture than you realize. Of course there is, because we're always operating with an incomplete data set, incomplete knowledge set. We don't know everything. So how can you make conclusions without knowing everything? You're basically arrogantly asserting that what you do know is sufficient. And he tells Albert, he says, until you move out, you're a dependent. Nothing wrong with it now. We're still relatively young men, but I bet I made as much money this weekend playing guitar as I would working for a normal job. Yeah, I'll be free most of today. Okay. He's talking about Aristotelian logic as applied to the facts of reality. We are all dependent on each other in a multitude of ways, even the financially independent people. Money disguises the truth of the matter. You still depend on others. It's just the money system which coerces their compliance to your will. When you squeeze the pump handle at the gas station, you are saying, I demand there be gas here. And the Republicans run off and start a war and invade and occupy Iraq in order to get the gas. Yeah. To address your hypothetical, no apple orchards ever existed in nature without a human, he says. An orchard implies human artifice, and a majority of apple species were inedible until humans modified them through artificial selection. Yeah, what he's trying to say that we work to create the orchard, but you know what? There are lots of things that existed before we even got there. You know, the earth has been a source of food for many species, including humanity, without having to have orchards. You know, a lot of people say money is just this or money is just that. But I'll tell you what, money is a lot of different things. And yes, you can do good things with money. But it is inherently evil because it leads us to think that we can control other people. And that's not what's really going on. We're really cooperating. We're cooperating in a drama where one person is the oppressor and one is the victim. I'll just briefly go through this. And if you want to donate to me so that I can create an alternative currency, or if you want to help me do it in any way, go to synergynation.net or donate.nodes.net, and that will get you to the place where you need to be to help. We need an alternative to the money system. Let's create it. Money doesn't work. It's a failed system. You can make it work better. You can put it towards good things, like creating an alternative to money. But you've got to do it. You've got to do something and not just sit there and go, I surrender.